Hi everyone, we are going to be doing a full-blown review on the brand new HAUS Labs concealer today. I've been wearing it for a few days. I'm going to show you pictures in natural lighting after an extensive wear test. So I definitely have my thoughts together on this. We're going to go through ingredients, have a look at the product, see how it applies, and see what it looks like at the end of the day. So let's get straight on with it. If you're new here, hi, my name's Gemma. I upload new content on YouTube every single week. I would love it if at some point in this video you are finding it helpful. Please consider clicking on the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell. So I'm going to show you this concealer in a couple of ways. 1 on its own, 2 over a colour corrector, and 3 side by side, another concealer that is one of my ride or die products of all time, and see whether you can notice a difference, see whether it is better coverage or lesser coverage than one of my favourites. So let's get straight into a little bit of bump on this product. So this is the HAUS Labs Triclone Skin Tech Hydrating and Depuffing Concealer. It's £27 in the UK. You get 7 ml worth of product or 0.24 fluid ounces. This comes in 31 different shades. I've gone for the shade 11 Light Neutral, which is perfection on me. This is a wide spectrum of shades, as you would expect from HAUS Labs. It's a very, very impressive shade range. This gives medium buildable coverage with a radiant finish, and it's long wearing and weightless. So let's have a look at a few of the ingredients. This has got biotech caffeine for depuffing capabilities. It's got fermented arnica and also aloe extract to help reduce redness, irritation, and to soothe the under eyes as well. This has also got bioferment 7 complex to protect the skin against environmental stress. It's got niacinamide in there to brighten, and hyaluronic acid and glycerin and squalane to plump and hydrate. The packaging is beautiful, unlike, I believe, the HAUS Labs foundation bottle, which I think is glass. It's very heavy and chunky and glass. This is slightly more lightweight. It's plastic, so if you drop this, it's not going to be as catastrophic as if this was a glass bottle. It's incredibly lightweight. It would travel very easily. The applicator holds a decent amount of product, but not too much that you're going to get way too much underneath the eye if you apply this directly to the under eye, if that is your preference. So I really, really like it. It's a lovely fuzzy applicator that does the job very well. So it's quite a thick consistency product, and when you first dispense it, it feels thick and a little bit sticky. That stickiness does fade as you warm the product into the skin, however, so it's not going to be sticky underneath the eye for a really long amount of time. It's very easy to apply, and it does have that slightly shiny finish which helps to reflect the light underneath the eye. It's not my preference, I've got to say. I prefer something that is more natural looking, something more like a natural matte, but I do think it is quite flattering underneath the eyes. This does smooth out incredibly easy. It's very easy to blend into any sort of foundation, but because of the sheer amount of coverage that this gives, and you're going to get medium coverage immediately, even with a small amount of product, and this is very easy to build up to full coverage on those darker areas. I personally would only use this if I was wearing makeup, so this is not something that I would reach for just to cover over my under eye circles, add a bit of blush, maybe a bit of mascara, and I'm out the door. I would only wear this with a full face. This does sink into the skin really beautifully, but because of that shiny finish on the surface of the skin, it looks like it's sat on the skin, which makes it look a little bit more makeup-y in my view. But with a little bit of powder on the top, that shine just dissipates slightly and it looks incredibly natural. The formula is super flexible, so it doesn't crease easily. It does have that slight spandex quality. There was a tiny weeny bit of creasing underneath my eyes after around about 10-15 minutes before I powdered it in place. So let me show you this with and without color corrector. I thought this would be a good test to to see how much coverage this actually gives on its own, and you will see I don't think it's necessary to put a color corrector underneath this. For me, and my under eye circles are quite bad at the moment. Yours may be worse and you may have a different opinion to me, but I would use this without a color corrector, no problems whatsoever, and feel very, very confident that my under eye circles were covered. Let me show you this side by side, one of my ride or died concealers, the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer. Now, although this has a different texture, it is not as thick and it is not as sticky as the Haus Labs concealer. It does have similar coverage capabilities, so I wanted to show you side by side just in case you have the Huda Beauty. Is it necessary to now go out and buy the Haus Labs concealer? So in my opinion, the Haus Labs concealer has more coverage than the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer, and I never thought I would hear myself say that there is a concealer with more coverage than the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer. And now that the product is powdered down, I think it looks super flattering underneath my eyes. Like I said earlier on in this video, I'm not keen on that shiny light reflecting finish because I don't think it looks as natural as more of a natural matte finish. So I personally prefer a powdered down finish. If you don't like powder, however, as long as you're just going in with one coat of this concealer and you're not wanting to build it up, you shouldn't need to powder this. So if you prefer that shiny finish, don't powder this in place and just apply one layer. I did apply a couple of layers, one all over the under eye, and then I added a little bit extra just over the areas of darkness. Let me show you what this looked like after 10 hours. So you'll see that my foundation is rather shiny, but my under eyes still intact and still look fresh. No discoloration whatsoever. They still look superb, and I was super impressed. So I think the only question I'm not going to be able to answer for you in this video is the Biotech caffeine, which is a caffeine alternative, slightly drying on the under eyes? Because I've not been wearing this product, this formula, for long enough to actually determine that. However, I've got a feeling that the answer is going to be no, and that is because of the squalane, the glycerin, and the hyaluronic acid that is also within this formula and will hopefully counteract the drying side effects of the Biotech caffeine, which I don't actually know if the Biotech caffeine, with it being a caffeine alternative, is going to be drying at all, but time will tell. Do I know if this suits my mum yet? Again, no I don't. However, I will pass this on to her. I have a feeling she is going to love it. Do I think that this is going to be super flattering on anybody over 40? I mean, I don't want to generalize, but pretty much, yes, I do. The formula of the Haus Labs concealer in the shade 11 Light Neutral, which is the only shade that I've tried, I can definitely say that this shade has not oxidized on me at all. One bit. The pigments within this concealer stay true from morning to night in my experience. This also feels like absolutely nothing underneath the eyes, which I was incredibly surprised about after feeling the initial sticky texture that I got, but it's that sticky texture that actually makes this more hydrating and nourishing underneath the eyes, and then by the end of the day, you are left with just something that feels like skin. It's just nothing. It's very, very smoothing and very flattering. You do need very little of this concealer, so try not to overdo it. Again, I always apply this on the back of my hand and then apply it with my fingers to really push it into the skin with the warmth of my fingertips, and that definitely works for me. I have also tried using a sponge with this, and I don't think that is ever going to be my favorite method of application, but specifically for this concealer, for me, it's a no-no because of of the sticky texture that this initially has, I just don't think it lends itself very well to using a sponge to apply this. I think you definitely need the warmth of your fingertips. Having said that, I have also applied this with a brush and had slightly better results than with a sponge, but fingertips all the way for me where concealer's concerned underneath my eyes. So I have a little bit of a task for everybody, if you don't mind. If you've already bought this concealer, you've tried it out, you either really don't like it, you can't get the best out of it and it just won't play ball for you, or you think it's the next best thing, I would love it if you would pass on your experiences in the comment section, because makeup is so super subjective and it's not only my opinion that counts on this channel. I think everybody would find it really, really helpful to get your view on this as well. And we all have differing problems with our skins that we're trying to tackle with a concealer. That might be dark under eye circles, it may be trying to cover over things and yet you've got fine lines and wrinkles, texture, crepiness, open pores, deep pigmentation. So if you have any of those issues and you found that this either did work or didn't work for you, please let everybody know in the comments section, and yeah, that would be super, super helpful. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's helped you make your decision whether you actually need this or this is a hard pass for you. Let me know your thoughts and I really hope to see you in the next one. Bye everyone.